Let's get right into it. Hey guys, Kim Kelty Gorski, or Kim Gorski, whatever you want to call me, because we are going to start to talk about the do's and the don'ts of social media. So I love talking about this because I think you will be pleasantly surprised. You'll be pleasantly surprised because I find zero benefit telling you what not to do and what to do. And so bear with me for a second, because I don't believe it's serving our autonomy. So it's something that I learned, and I mentioned this quite a bit, from a book called Why Motivating People Doesn't Work and This Does. And her name is Susan Fuller, and she's a psychologist, and she goes to different companies all across the world and shares this method called ARC. And so A stands for autonomy, R for relatedness, relatability, and C for competence. And why I don't believe, and I'll show you examples, don't get me wrong. I don't believe it's beneficial for me to sit up here and say, do not and do this, because it's not serving your autonomy. You feel like you don't have a choice. You feel crippled. You feel ashamed because you've done it before. I know for myself, when I first heard you can't post like this, I'm like, oh my God, I've been posting like this for years. And I believe with social media, it's always evolving. So I'm going to teach you some things that is going to not only set a solid core for what you do with social media, but also give you a lot of freedom to do that. So I know this is kind of not the way that it's done, in the sense that it's like, do this, don't do that. But you never know until you try. So for example, there's things in the beginning of my business that were 100% do's. Now I put them in the don'ts for me, solely because I don't believe it's bringing the value that it used to, or it's not having the effect it used to. So why I believe we need to go from a place of solid cores of your do's and what you don't want to do. So for example, my first post in this business was a thing of Shakeology and T25. So someone could sit here and say to you, don't do that. Well, guess what? When I go through what's of value to you, that was of value to me. It was my first DVD as a coach. It was my first time doing T25, and I was really pumped about the fact that I had this drink after my workout. And I share that. So I could easily be like, don't do it. But I could easily also say, how is this serving you first? And then serving the person on the other end. Is it giving them value? So I always go off this meter of, is it giving value to you? And you're like, check. And do you believe it will give value to someone else? Check. So let's go off that first post that people will frankly say, don't do. And do I do it anymore? No, because I believe it doesn't give any more value to me. Does that, because it's been 4 years. So I'm having different types of value in my life for the women and the women I'm going to serve. So let's go off that first post. So it's just a picture of T25, the DVD set. We don't even have DVD sets anymore. Oh my God, we're so aging ourselves. All of it's virtual and all on Beachbody On Demand. So we have that. And then I have the shake. So I go through the process of, what was that post of value? So I talked about the value that I could just press play and get out before I had to go on my hour-and-a-half commute. That was a value to me. It was a value to me to share that. It was a value to me to say, hey, I don't really have a lot of time, and I used to not do this. And then the fact that I'd be like, hey, this is a new shake for me, and I'm learning the value of what it's going to do for my body. Yeah, the value. So when we go from the place of what is of value to me, and then what is of value to them, aka what's in it for them. What's in it for them? So I'm going to share some posts that I've used in past, presentations on what is of value. So I'm going to give you some examples. So another thing, it's like scroll stopping photos. So this is where we get all super silly and we're like, oh my gosh, I gotta, stand over my shake and have this beautiful lighting and all that kind of stuff. Hey, we're going to evolve with this. We will. And there's going to be more trainings like this. But if we're going to really keep it to the bare bones core, let's talk about scroll stopping photos that are scroll stopping value. So I have a few examples right here. I look over here. So for example, personal development. So personal development, it's a value to us. I was just having a conversation with one of my best friends, and she said, my company needs self-care integrated into it. And I said, yes, I agree. I believe it's crazy that we don't have that. And Beachbody was the first company that I saw that. So again, of value. So this is a coach on our team, Shelly Gonzalez, and she shares this energy bust. She does her runs in the morning, and she just is sharing that, hey, I did my run, I plugged into this, I'm feeling amazing, pop, this is huge. That is scroll stopping value, because she is sharing the benefits of what personal development does combined with her fitness. That's value. That's value. So again, meter, is it a value to you? And then is it a value to them? So what's in it for them? How can you share that with them? And then I have this other picture right here, before and after of the 60-day for Core to Force. So Caitlin puts in here, she talks about her transformation. She talks about how it was a value to her to be able to share the value and inspiration and education for someone to go do it. Yes. Yes. So you could sit there and say, well, I don't have a before and after. Well, one, what is a before and after from when you started this business? Even a couple months in or a few years in, whatever that is, share that. You know, I've shared images of me looking exactly the same, but showing the transformation of my mental state. So I go from a yo-yo dieter and yo-yo in mindset. And so I'm sharing the transformation of how I am able to have a balance in my food and my workouts and a balance in my mindset. So I share that value. And don't ever think because it's small, it's not a value. So always go from that meter inside. Wow, that was a value to me. So do you see a photo on Instagram or you see a photo on Facebook and you stop and you're like, man, that gave me value. Click. Could you replicate that? I'm not saying copy it, but can you replicate that? So start to see those behaviors. So if you stop for something and you got value from it, boom, do it. Do it, do it, do it. And then going from this mindset, Bethany Rowley, a girl on our team as well, I love this picture. It's a picture of all the women. It's a picture of, and she's describing what these women are in her community. And then insert men, whatever in that community. And what I hear from this is I get you. The best compliment you can get was when someone says, I feel you wrote that post for me. You get me. Are you shooting for that? Are you shooting for that value? And why was Bethany be able to do this post? Is because she felt like someone got her. She felt this community understands why she wants to have this physical and emotional health to be able to help her in different areas of her life. And then I'm bringing it home with this because I believe this is mind numbing and some people are like, don't do it, don't do it. Zooms, AKA, you know, the stuff that we live with in this like modern day Brady Bunch is not happening on the news feed of the people that you want to inspire into your challenge groups and empower to go into your coaching opportunities. These people right here, they're like, wow, I can connect with people all across the country? Are you kidding me? This is freaking cool. I don't talk to anyone outside of my 5 to 10 mile radius. That's impact. So you may get 1 like. Cool. You may get 0 likes. Awesome. Facebook took care of that algorithm for you. But know this. Know that we are not measuring our do's and our don'ts of social media off of the likes and the comments. You getting out there and being able to share stuff that's of value to you with your health, with your fitness, with your mindset, with the community, with the tools that you're learning, meaning the marketing, the social media, the exposure to having the community that can help you with this, it's mind-blowing what that can do for your social media, but also for you. So the first 2 years of my business, I would say I posted just for me. And what does that mean? I posted because I needed that accountability. I needed that value. So when I found something on social, or in my personal development, my professional development, I would write about it. I would just write about it. When I found value with a connection I had with someone in a challenge group, I would write about it. Was it helping other people? For sure. But you got to go from the place of self-care to be able to have that service, the self-care to the service. And so as much as I can say, don't do this, don't do that, it won't bring you value today. I promise you that. I've sat on many, many, many calls where they have told me not to do anything about my dogs, anything about sunsets and sunrises, nothing about my, this, that, and another. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel crippled. So now let's have that choice. Do you believe it's of value to share X in this post? Yeah, okay. And then you start to grow and say, what's in it for them? What are they going to get out of it? What are they going to leave with? And that's a beautiful thing. And that's where you start to not only impact, but imprint. And so don't believe that you need to be a guru or an expert to do this. We all start somewhere. And I started with the Shakeology T25 on my dining room table, ear to ear, grinning, because I knew I was bringing value to my life to then be able to bring value to others. I hope this serviced you. If you have any questions, just tag me at Kim Gorski in here, and I'd love to help you on this. There will be many more trainings to go in and out with this, but know this is your core belief on how you can give scroll-stopping values of your do's and then get rid of the don'ts that don't service you right now, because you are out there to make it bigger, better, and brighter for other people in this industry. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon.